I love it when I make new friends. I don't know if you guys have a similar experience, but I find so much excitement in having a friend that's not so much into anime. Maybe they've watched like the mainstream stuff, and then you get to like sit them down one day, and then you get to basically blow their minds with so many amazing shows and so many new shows, and you're like, oh. I remember I showed one of my closest mates, I remember introducing Berserk to him, and he now, this was before I moved to Thailand and before I moved out of England, but I remember he'd only watched Dragon Ball, and he's like a lad's lad. I don't know if you know what that means, but in England, you know, he's a lad. He's definitely like the laddiest of the lads, and I'm like, I think you might enjoy Berserk. So I actually showed him, obviously not the 3D one, but I actually showed him the first film. Not even like the original anime, but the first film, because I thought that was the easiest way to introduce it to him, which it is. I think the first Golden Age arc film is not the best Berserk adaptation, but it is definitely, I think, the easiest way to introduce someone to the whole Berserk franchise. He really, really enjoyed that, and then left it there. Cut to like 4 years later when I was catching up with him right before my wedding, and he was like, yo, dude, I gotta show you something. And it's on a night out, and we're just out chilling outside a bar or something, and then he turns around and he pulls down and he shows me his new tattoo, and it's like the Berserk mark, and I literally in the middle of this bar just screamed. I was like, no way, man, no way. And he was like, yo, that shit changed me, man, that shit changed me. And I'm like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so glad. No, you trained him. Yeah. I turn everyone I'm around into a weeb. No onsen for him anymore. You know what? Worth, who was the subject of this, he was just one of my very close friends that I didn't meet through the internet, just through normal means. Well, it's getting totally different now, because now a lot more people are into anime, and anime in general has just gotten a lot more popular, so it's definitely not as hard to get more people into anime. There used to be this point, it used to be possible, right? Even like 10 years ago, I remember working at the BBC, and even just like trying to get people to give something like Attack on Titan a chance, I was like, this is like pulling at teeth, because you got to introduce the concept of them being okay watching something that's not a live action TV series, because back in the day everyone's like, oh, I want some Game of Thrones, or I want Breaking Bad. So you're gonna be like, okay, hold on a second, so you need to like plant the seed of, okay, so have you ever considered watching animated TV series? And then there's like a layer on top of that, which is like, okay, you need to convince them to get over that barrier, and then convince them to get over the barrier of watching something that is not in English. You got to be like, okay, I know this might blow your mind, but hear me out. Subtitles. It's not from America. It's not from England. Just try it. It's great. Just try subs. Just try subs. And one barrier might be doable. 2 barriers, that was like nigh on impossible, unless it was like a really, really good dub or something like that. But now, not even like thanks to anime, but thanks to like just international media in general, obviously like with shows like Squid Game blowing up and Parasite winning an Oscar and all that kind of jazz, and that barrier has like been more and more broken down. Not only that, but for the new generation, anime has gotten mainstream at this point. It has become a part of pop culture. It is a lot easier to get people into new shows than it definitely was back in the day. In fact, I meet more people that now, even if they are the type of person that would in no way be interested in anime at all, have at least watched like 1 or 2 shows. The amount of people that I've seen watch, say they've watched JJK, and I'm like, how the did you hear about this? You have shown no interest in anime at all. Where the did you hear about this from? And they're like, I don't know, it just popped up on my feed one day, and I just gave it a chance. And I was just like, oh, this is weird. This is weird. I don't have to do any more convincing anymore, huh? I don't have to do anything. Like when I introduced my mum to Apothecary Diaries, my mum had No idea about Apothecary Diaries, but my dad had already heard about it. When I showed them the picture, my dad was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this somewhere before. It's the new Chinese anime thing, right?" Really hoped to get my parents to watch more. The only way I convinced them to watch an animated TV show was I told them Arcane was French. wait, the French thing works? Being like, "Yo, mom, dad, actually, this ain't from Asia. It's from France, actually. It's French. It's French, guys. It's French."